I'm back. Okay. We're going to take up where we left off with the last video. In the last video, we had changed our file folder paths for the cards and results files to Belmont Park, and we had renamed the workbook for Belmont Park, and we had listed our cards and listed our results to get the Belmont Park card files listed. At this time I want to show you how to go to the next step, which is to clear out the record keeping sheet, which you look down at the bottom at the tabs, you'll see record keeping sheet, and the BVDB sheet, which is the database. We have to clear those old Arlington Park cards, the data from those cards out of both the record keeping sheet and the database sheet, so we can put Belmont card data in those two sheets. To do that, we have to go to record keeping. Well, you can start with either one, but if you go to record keeping, there won't be any data in there, by the way. But if you were creating this workbook from from another workbook that had data in the record keeping sheet, then you would have to clear that out. But I'm going to show you how to do that anyway. So click record keeping. As you can see, there's no data in here, but if there were, we'd just click the delete existing race data button, and that would get rid of all that data and make it look like this. Now we need to go to the database, which is the BVDB sheet. We can either click that tab down here or click the go to database button up here. This is the database, and it does have data in it because I've already populated the database with the new Belmont cards, and I did that so we wouldn't have to wait for all those cards to process. But if these were old cards from an old workbook that you were creating a new one from, you would just click the erase existing database button, and it would clear out all of this old data. So that's what we would do if we were creating a new workbook. I've already gone through those steps and actually repopulated the database, but I'm going to show you how to do that without actually having to wait for 10 or 12 minutes for all that stuff to process. So I'm going to go back to the main sheet. You can either click the main tab down here or click the go to main sheet button. One thing I'm going to mention, when you clear out the database, this area over here will be empty. There will be a 0-0, meaning no cards, no braces in the database, and this will be blank. This will be blank also, because there is no most recent database card in an empty database. Right now we've got cards in there, as I said, because I've already populated the database, but I'm going to show you how to do that now. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to test this track using some recent cards. As you can see, I've got cards through July the 14th. If I were starting all over with a new workbook, new track and everything, and I didn't have these recent cards in here, say I wanted to test it from last year's meet, I would just scroll back up to the older cards and start with usually I'll start with the first 24 cards, which would be, in this case, would be the 2012 files starting in on April 27th. If I click there and hold that click and scroll down, you'll see the little notification information. See that 21R by 1C, that means 21 rows and 1 column. So if I want 24 cards, I need that 21R, 21 rows, to read 24. So I'll just scroll on down some more until I get 24R. Okay, those, if I let go of the click, there's 24 cards selected there. So I'll know my starting card up in this box is going to be the number 1 card, and the ending card is going to be the 24th card, and that would go here in the ending card number. But since I'm doing this, I'm actually retesting Belmont in this example. I'm going to actually test the last 2 weeks that I have in here, which would be 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 7, 0, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there's 9 cards there that I'm going to test. So the cards I'm going to put in the database are the previous 24 cards. So if I'm going to start testing with 703, I need to go to the one just before that, which was June 30th. Left click and hold, and I need to get 24 cards previous to that. And there's 20, 29, 26, 25, 24. See this little box over there? It tells you how many rows, or in this case, how many card numbers you've selected. There's 24 rows, 24 card numbers. So my starting card number, this box here, is going to be this file, which is this card number 78. So I'll put 78 here, and the ending card will be the June 30th file, which is card number 101. And that'll be the ending card number, and that'll be typed in here, which I've already done. But to do that, you just click in there and type the starting card number, and then your ending card number, and then click out, and you'll see you have 24 cards selected, or however many you've got here. There's 24 cards here, and that will show up over here. Okay, to populate the database, you have to have with results selected, which will clear out this box. Daily play puts a 1 there. With results takes the 1 away. So you have to have with results in order to get the all the winners data for all the cards you're going to process into the database. We want to know which horses won, so we can get the payouts for our testing. So with results, and you also, in batch process, you have to type a 1 here. Anytime there's a 1 in batch process, and you click run data, whatever cards you process, that data is going to be sent to the database. So if you're just in daily play, or you're looking at a card you did yesterday, and you've got the results now, so you want to see how the results looked against the card, then you would want to clear out this 1. Just click in there and click backspace, and then click out, and that'll clear that out. So you could say I wanted to look at card number 78 with the results. Also, I'd have 78 starting card, 78 ending card, and then with results, so I could see the results along with the card data, and then click run data, and it would just process that 1 card for viewing. I could step through the races and see how each race did. And since this batch process box is empty, nothing's going to be sent to the database. This is just for reviewing cards and playing live. That's where you want the batch process box empty. If you want to send the data to the database, you have to type a 1 in there and click out. Okay. That's all I have to do. Select the starting card, ending card, and type a 1 in batch process, and make sure that this box over here is blank, meaning that I have results. I'm going to import results. Now all I have to do is click run data, and wait for all of those cards to process and get sent to the database. Like I say, I've already done that for these cards, and they're already in the database. So I'm not going to do it again. It takes about 25 or 30 seconds per card to do that. So we're looking at 10 or 11 minutes of time that I'm not going to waste in this video. So to populate the database, type your starting card, your ending card, one in batch processing, click run data, and then wait for the timer window to pop up. You can track those cards as they're imported and processed down here in the left-hand corner of Excel where it says card number. After that first card, card 78, is processed and sent to the database, this number would become 78. And then as the 79th card is processed and sent to the database, that'll change to 79, so you can watch the program step through the cards you have selected for import. Then you'll get your little timer window pop up telling you how many seconds it took to process all these cards. Just click OK in that little window and it'll go away. And when it goes away, you'll be taken to the all data sheet automatically. You don't have to click the button. It'll take you here automatically, and it'll show the last card that got imported, which was June 30th Belmont, and the last race that got processed was race 10, which is down here. This is where you select races. If you're playing live or reviewing cards with results, you can actually click these race buttons and look at any of the races on the card to either play live or to look at with the results already there. We'll get to that later on when we get into the daily play mode. But right now I'm going to go back to the main sheet. I can click this button and we've got everything processed, so that I've already clicked run data, so all these cards have been processed and sent to the database. Now I just need to verify that they're there. So I go to the database sheet, which is the BBDB sheet, and you can see the last card and the last race that was sent here was June 30th, and it was race 10. I can scroll down, and the first card that was imported and processed was the 527 card, race 1. So I've got all 24 of my cards and all the races from those cards in the database. That's what I wanted. Now at this point, after you've got your initial database imported and processed, you need to save the workbook just like it is. That'll keep you from having to repopulate the database every time you test a new method, a new rankings method. Every rankings method that we test, we need to use the same initial starting database for each one of those methods. So if I save it now, it's going to save that initial database, and then when I start testing, all I have to do after I've tested a method is to just close the workbook without saving it. And then when I reopen it, it's going to reopen right back where it was with this initial starting database still populated. And then I'm ready for to test my next method. This just keeps us from having to repopulate the database every time we start a new test. So at this time I'm going to save it, click File and Save, and it will save this workbook as it is right now. Okay, we'll wait for that to save. Okay, it's finished. So we know we've saved this workbook, we've saved the initial database, and now we're ready to do our testing, track testing. I'll get into that later on in the next video, but basically all you do is go up here to, you keep these same, you'll change your starting card and ending card to the next card. Card 101 was 630. Okay, that's the last card that was sent to the database. I want to start testing on 7-3, so My starting card number is going to be card number 102. I'll put that here, and the ending card number will be the last one I'm going to test, which is 110. I'll put 110 here. And then when I go up here to test a method, you notice when you move into that box, you get a pop-up comment that gives you a list of all the 11 ranking methods we can test. I just start with the one at the top, FWC, which is final win contenders, and type that code in this box. I would type FWC in here. It doesn't have to be capitalized or anything. And then click out of it. Okay, so I would change my starting card number to card number 101, I believe it was, yeah. 102, 703. I'd type that here. And then the ending card number would be the most recent race that I've got in here, which is 714. That would be 110. I would type that here. Type the code here for the method I want to test. Make sure there's one in batch process. Make sure that I've clicked with results, which clears this box out. And then click run data and wait for the timer. But we'll get into that in the next video. So right now I've saved this one. I'm going to close this video out, and then the next video I'll show you how to start testing the rankings methods for this track. Thank you. Bye.